Thank you for taking the time to participate in my thesis. The thesis is Community Narratives, Christiansburg Institute, and I'm currently interviewing members and specifically my family who attended to understand their perception of the Institute. So first we'll start off if you can explain what your name, age, and what years you attended the Institute.
Hello to everyone. It's a pleasure to be able to greet you today. My name is Jerry Williams, and my age is 72 years old. I attended the Christiansburg Industrial Institute, known to most people at that time as CII, during the years of 1964 to 1965. And at the end of that year of 1965, I transferred to Rapid High School. At that time, they were ending segregation and we were entering into integration. So I was transferred from CII to Rapid High School in the city of Rapid, Virginia.
Perfect. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in, and I'll start just asking you the questions. So the first question is, what landmarks do you remember from Christiansburg Institute?
The main landmark that I remember was the Scattergood building. And that was famously known for being where our huge gymnasium was. Very beautiful edifice. Also, it housed the area for our study of, there was the musician's room. One of the teachers there being Mr. McKnight. And we also had a shop there, industrial shop there, industrial arts, where we learned how to do carpentry and metal work and welding. And that was very good and also very informative towards education and the knowledge that I have in the way that I'm able to do some things in this present time that I'm living in now. And it went on and on. Different classrooms were in there, and it was a wonderful building to spend time in. I also remember the cosmetology building that, of course, the young ladies there that would go there would learn their cooking skills and how to also be able to sew and make dresses, to be able to take care of things at home so they could be good homemakers. There was also the barbering building where we were trained to be barbers, which later on, after I had taken that course, I began to take up and began to become the barber in the neighborhood here in the city of Rapid, going from house to house. I did not have a shop, but I actually went on bicycle to different homes and cut hair and was able to pick up some money doing that. And it was a very good service to the neighborhood and also very rewarding to me. And I enjoyed it, meeting the people and being able to communicate with them. And I was a part of the number of the youth lives in the city of Rapid having done that. There was also the building that was the building for the principal. And Mr. Banks was the principal at that time. We go there, and there was a library also in there, in that particular building also. The principal's wife, Mrs. Banks, she was the one that ran the library. And then there was the Edgar A. Long building. There were a number of classrooms in that building. We were able to take our mathematics there. We also had chemistry. We also had our science classrooms. We had our English classrooms. We had our French classroom that was there in that particular building. And all the teachers were very informative. They were very serious about the teaching and training of every one of the students. They knew at that time that unless we got a good education, life could be exceptionally hard for us if we didn't get our education. So they stressed education to the highest. And they trained us very, very, very well. And this time I'm very appreciative of that because it was very rewarding to me now. And the things that I learned during that time has surely paid off to me during the years that I've lived. And there was also a barn there that they had agriculture training out of. There was a football field that was behind the Scattergood building, and we were able to go out and be able to do field trips out there, and that was also very informative also. And I just certainly enjoyed my time at Christiansburg Industrial Institute, and I thank the good Lord that He allowed me to be able to have that period of training during my life. One thing I might add, during that time, there were times I had to actually walk from Rapid all the way to Christiansburg, Virginia, to be able to get to Christiansburg Institute, and also times I had to walk back. because sometimes there was no bus to even ride. We did not have transportation at various times. We had to stand in cold weather, waiting for long periods of time to be able for the bus to come along. Sometimes the bus got there and sometimes it didn't get there. So we had to get there as best way we could at that time. And I thank you for even listening to me, even for those few questions, for the answers I could give. And I hope that was enough information to be able to help update you and give you a general bird's eye view of what we went through to be able to receive the training that we got.
Perfect. So my next question, just want to ask you something that you mentioned, that like agriculture was out of a barn. Was it like a full like barn, and how I'm imagining it now, or was it kind of like, what do you mean agriculture was in a barn? Like a legit barn? Legit barn. Okay, got it. That's all I needed to know. Just trying to imagine, is it more like a school zone or a legit barn? Okay, so we'll ask the second question. Are there any memorable, sacred, or community spaces that you recall from the Institute that was important to you? And if so, why?
As far as sacred, when I first heard you ask the question about whether or not there were some places that were memorable, sacred places or community spaces there at the Christiansburg Institute, we didn't actually, to the best of my remembrance, have an actual place to go, such as a chapel. But we did, in essence, did have chapel, because every classroom, without exception, when we would go in those classrooms, especially in the morning hours, we would always have prayer. We would have the pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God. And we always use the name of God there. In the present day and time, they've seemed to want to filter out the name of God, but we were taught to always recognize God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. And we respected that, and we were taught well from that. Matter of fact, we've been taught that all the way from elementary school, all the way up, regardless of what county we came from or what city we came from. Everyone knew when we stepped on the campus of Christiansburg Institute, because we had learned it already in elementary, did not mean that we were going to be able to be separated from that when we came to Christiansburg Institute. That practice continued on, and that was definitely expected of me and all the other students around. And it brought forth a very, very good fellowship and also unity amongst all the students of each other. We felt close to each other. We bonded with each other. We expected to see each other. We would even have prayer for each other. And it was totally allowed, no exceptions at all. And it was a very free atmosphere for us to be able to do that with one another and be able to share the love with one another. And we saw the benefits of that in the future days and years to come. And even to this day, as I'm living now, those that's even attended class with me right now, I still see the attributes and the benefits of that having happened.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and ask the next one. 3. What do you consider makes a community space?
As far as for a community space, the privilege to be able to walk around and be free with each other and being able to express our ideas and differences with each other, and yet at the same time be set at reason to be able to sit down and reason one with the other. As the word says, how can two walk together except they agree? When we walk together, someone may have had a better idea than I did, and sometimes there were times when I had a better idea than they did. But once we reasoned together, we were able to come out with something very beneficial to not only us, but to even those that were around us. And everyone was affected by whoever did something else. It was more like a domino style. What happened on one end affected the other end. And sometimes people felt like they were behind at times, or maybe a little slow learning at times. But as the word says, he that is last should become first. Those that stayed in the line and we helped them to come along, with those that were older or even knew something better, we always helped each other to be able to climb the ladder. And to this day, I'm very appreciative, because there were times when I needed that help also.
Thank you. I like that. 4. Was there any part of Christiansburg Institute that symbolized community to you as a student? And how about now as you reflect on that space?
Yes, there was a privilege to be able to have been around each other, as I literally have already spoken previously. But in adding to that, I could say that we expected each other. We were excited about each other. If someone was missing, we felt like that something was wrong. We would ask questions, maybe even make visitations if we could after school, if we could go to their homes, if we could get there at all. And they were concerned about me, and I was concerned about them. And we all worked together as part of unity, one together. But where there's unity, there is strength.
Thank you. Number 5, if you could envision any use of the current site, what would it be?
We had a slogan when we went there, was keep on pushing. As the song there is also now says, we fall down, but we get up. We were taught that when you fall down, don't laugh at the other, don't be ashamed, but go ahead and lift your head up and be encouraged and know that the Lord himself will help you, and know that there's someone else as a classmate that was willing to help you to get back up. That being there, it was very comforting. It added an atmosphere of peace one to another, and we knew that we were all in that together, and we were there to be helpers and fellow workers one of another, and as a result, we became stronger. If the school was still there right now, having going back to that slogan, keep on pushing. When you keep on pushing, that means you're going to gain more. I believe that at this present time, the institution would have become larger, and there would have been people on the outside that would saw the benefit of what was doing to the people that were on the inside of that institution, that attended there. And there would have been a stronger yearning for people to come and say, can I have some of that too? Can you help me to have that? And I believe firmly that it would have made a stronger community, stronger people for our community, state, and nation.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And then here's the last question. If the Institute had never closed, what do you think it would look like now?
For one, I believe that a number of the homes and things that are around there, I don't think there would have been room for the homes to be there, because I believe the institution itself would have expanded so much. They would have needed more land, and by needing more land and by also having grown with students and faculty having to be there, they would have needed more space. So back at that time, before those homes were, long years before those homes were ever even built there, I believe that there would have been more land having to be purchased. There would be larger buildings there. It'd probably be about the size of some smaller college campuses. And that would have been a very big surprise for the older ancestors of the older students that went there during the early years before I went there. And I look at that now and I say, it's a shame that it came to a halting stop. Not that we didn't want integration. It was needed too. But integration really should not have had to just start at a school. It should have actually started in our churches, so that when it came time for integration, we would have all been willing, both black and white, to be able to come together.
Thank you. Well, that concludes all of the main questions that I have for you. Was there anything else that you specifically wanted to add, or any memories or anything that you just kind of want to know about your time there? Or about the Institute, like how it looked, or just certain things?
I would ask people right now that are listening to this, as I think about it, I wonder, did some of the ideas that you had and the dreams that you had, did you hold on to those? If you held on to them, I'm believing the answer would be that you have become what you have wanted. As a matter of fact, in many cases, more than what you wanted to be. Because he that does not apply himself has set himself up for failure. But he that applies himself has set himself up for victory.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank you for taking the time to participate in my thesis research. And I look forward to sharing this with others in the next step. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.